today. Senator Rand Paul, Republican of Kentucky, another possible 2016 presidential hopeful. Well, he announced that he's restructuring his office, and he's not talking about moving the furniture in that case. The changes to his staffing come after yet another accusation of plagiarism, as BuzzFeed.com reports. The allegedly lifted lines came from this piece written by The Week's Dan Stewart, who back in September wrote an op-ed that contained sentences such as, quote, by design, mandatory sentencing laws take discretion away from prosecutors and judges so as to impose harsh sentences regardless of circumstances. Those exact same words with the exact same punctuation were then published under Rand Paul's name just 6 days later. I want to bring in BuzzFeed political reporter Andrew Kaczynski, who spotted this duplication, as well as some others. Andrew, thanks for coming in. Congratulations on the scoops. Paul says he's restructuring his office as a result of these allegations and others. That would lead one to believe that he's possibly blaming staffers for these instances of alleged plagiarism as opposed to blaming himself. Is that your read of that?
I think he's actually sort of maybe protecting his staffers. He said before on This Week that a lot of people and a lot of different voices went into all of his speeches. So I think he's sort of defending his office, and it doesn't look like anyone's going to be let go.
How many allegations are we now talking about? I know you've reported on at least two. How many? I know Rachel Maddow did another one. How many are there total?
Rachel Maddow reported on him copying some lines from the Wikipedia movie Gattaca. We reported on him copying lines from a Wikipedia article on the movie Stand and Deliver. We also reported that 3 pages in his book had been copied from a Cato scholar and a Heritage Foundation report. We reported that he had plagiarized in the op-ed, which you just talked about, and we also reported that he had plagiarized just this morning in a Forbes article.
So we saw accusations of plagiarism really hurt Vice President Joe Biden's run for the White House back in 1988. You might be too young to remember that, but I remember it very vividly, and he got hammered. He was chased out of the race. In 2008, however, then Senator Obama faced accusations of lifting lines from Massachusetts Governor Deval Patrick. Do you think Paul is going to be able to bounce back as Obama did, or is this going to hurt him like it hurt Biden?
You know, we can't really remember anything that happened 2 minutes ago in politics, let alone 3 years from now in the 2016 election. So I don't really think this is going to hurt Paul, especially because we're not really seeing, him getting flack from Republicans for this. I think Democrats and journalists have noted that he's been plagiarizing, but I don't think he's going to really have to answer for this fully until you have sort of the Republican base making an issue with Paul. And maybe people will do that in a Republican primary, but right now Paul has sort of either sidestepped the issue. He hasn't totally taken accountability just yet.
No, he's blamed it on hacks and haters. Hacks and haters, he said to George Stephanopoulos yesterday. How easy is it to...
And he did challenge, he challenged me to a duel, hypothetically.
Do you think that you would be able to win such a duel? Are you handy with a musket?
I never miss.
You never miss. How easy is it to spot repetition like this?
It's not really that hard when you search through the speeches. There's the pattern of writing that's sort of in Paul's voice, and then you'll see when they're maybe writing about something that's using like facts or maybe the tone has changed a little bit, and it's pretty easy to just search that and come up with something else.
Do you think Paul's whole body of work is going to be sifted through now for any other similarities to other people's?
I think the book is pretty serious, but the publisher didn't care. The publisher said in the back that he didn't individually research each case, and I think with the op-eds, if we find it in his op-eds, it's going to be an instance where these outlets are going to be upset that Paul plagiarized and then wrote in their outlets. So I think people are going to look through the whole body of work, especially people who might be concerned that Paul plagiarized when he wrote for their specific publication.